Hey everyone, and welcome back to another podcast, Belgian Grand Prix time today. Joined with Johnny again down south. How's it going, Johnny?
All good down here.
Good stuff. We are starting the podcast on a real sombre note. Obviously, we all know what happens in F2 with Anthoine Hubert. Tragic accident. And it was a real shame to lose such a talented driver who was considered a quartet. He was part of a group of four, I believe, of Gasly, Leclerc, Ocon, and he was the fourth one expected to get to Formula One. Johnny, let's just have your thoughts on that tragic accident on Saturday evening.
Yeah, no, that was a tough one. It was sort of accident. You know, it could. Well, it doesn't happen often. Thankfully, it can happen to anyone, any driver at any time. Because the angle I saw was just they're coming up from mistaken at the top of Radion, and there's already just someone's crashed then, and then another. I don't know which car he is, but one's just gone straight into the other one. Like
I think he was the one who was
involved in the crash. Yeah,
Sorry.
And I mean the fact that that's only like just him who's sadly passed away. You know, it's a testament to the safety as well as the fact that we're never going to be safe enough in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's never going to be enough safety, but the fact that there was only just the one, obviously very major casualty. There was the other driver who did go into, I think he went straight to the hospital, but he was in a stable condition by the end of the evening, I think. So, you know, it's a tough one. It's really lost for words because you think it just shouldn't happen anymore. Like, it can't happen anymore. Like those like actual deaths during a race.
It's been a long time since we had probably Bianchi, the last one during an F1 weekend.
Yeah, that was during an F1, and then to have, I mean, that was after a year. He finally, after being in a coma for a year, passed away. But having someone who crashed and died on the same day in the race, pretty much, I think it must have been Senna. I think would have been the last one.
Yes, yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it's a long time ago. Really, really sad. Obviously, thoughts are all with his family, fans, and friends.
Definitely.
And I think they cancelled the F2 race, if I'm right, on Sunday. But the F1 race obviously was going to go ahead. I don't think Hubert would have wanted anything else, to be honest. And on a slightly a better note, the race was actually very entertaining. I quite enjoyed it. It was packed out, obviously, with Max Verstappen fans, and they weren't very happy, were they? Lap 1, Verstappen out after 2 corners.
Oh, that was...
You enjoyed that one?
I can't say I didn't enjoy it. I loved it. I absolutely loved that. I was laughing when it happened.
I mean, whose fault was it? Kimi, Verstappen, turn 1?
It's Kimi's fault because... You know, I'm trying to remember it now because obviously, like you said, our notes we literally did them just before this, and I'm trying to remember it. But was it Kimi on the inside or was it
Kimi on the outside? Max.
Yeah.
Kimi turned in. I think
that's it. Yeah, that's what it is. Kimi just turned into Max like he didn't see him or something.
I think it was I don't think he actually saw him because he was behind him, and then I think there was a Racing Point in there as well.
Yeah, there was someone, and like he was definitely being sandwiched. Yeah, Kimi was being sandwiched, but he was definitely like not as much on his left side as he was on his right. Like, he didn't leave literally any room on the inside, which was where Max was. Which again, he probably didn't see Max. But
do you think he was entitled to take the line, Kimi, because he was in front? At the race start,
always when you're in front,
you need to leave some room at the race start.
Yeah, you always need to leave room at the start. But
Verstappen was halfway alongside, I think. So. Yeah, he was. Verstappen was right to be there. I think it was a 50-50, personally.
Okay, yeah, I'd say
I'd say more Max.
I'd say more Kimi's fault.
I'd say more
really?
Max, yeah, because it was optimistic to stick your nose in there. Real tight corner. I don't know. He couldn't have done anything else. I don't know. He could have backed out, but he would have got rear-ended. So it's a tough one.
I mean, well, like I said, I haven't seen the highlights again, but from what I remember, there seemed to be a fair amount of space on Kimi's left to have left. Like, he could have gone more over there, even with the Force India, because the Force India, I think, took a really wide line through that corner. Kimi could have gone more over there, but he didn't think there was anyone on his inside, so that's why he's taking it so tight. And obviously, Max being there just took him out.
And it kind of destroyed Verstappen's steering. I think he broke a track rod on the front left, so he just went straight. Basically, could have been a much worse incident than it was. He almost took out Kimi again, going up to Radeon. It was quite a scary crash. You turn into Radeon and nothing happens, but it wasn't as bad as what it could have been. But that brought out the safety car straight away, and at the start, I think Hamilton got Vettel, and then Vettel got him back, and then there was a safety car, and it basically remained as it was. Although Lando Norris got up to 5th, and we'll talk about his race soon. What heartbreaking end for him.
Talk about McLaren's race, just like both drivers.
Yeah, but for Sainz at the start, I think he had an anti-stall problem. He just didn't get away, and then that was basically that. Yeah. Curtains for him.
It came into the pits at the end of the laps, didn't it?
Yeah, I think he pitted, and then he had to fire up the car again in the pit stop, which I've never seen before ever. Really strange. The safety car actually stayed out till lap 3, and then everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to get started again," and then it stayed out again because Sainz stopped at the last corner, which probably a good call by the FIA.
Definitely. That's a tough corner. Like, you're coming so fast through there.
It's so tough.
Like, you get wrong breaking into it, and you just go straight on. You're going straight into that.
Yeah.
All the people trying to take it away. So yeah, that was the right call there.
Yeah, there wasn't much between I've got nothing between lap 4 and lap 12. I think it was just the field were just sort of spreading themselves out.
Well, I think the only thing to be said there was pretty much just after the safety car, because I think I remember messaging you saying because obviously from the start the lights went out really quick. Really quick, and that caught not Verstappen, Vettel by surprise, and that's why Bottas got a decent start as well, but Hamilton got up alongside.
I think Verstappen had a poor start as well. That's why Kimi got past him.
Yeah, it was just it was really quick. I haven't never seen it that quick before. So yeah, that caught a lot of drivers off. But yeah, then Vettel took the place back on that long straight after Eau Rouge and Radeon. What's that straight called again?
The Kemmel Straight.
That's it. Yeah. He got because he got the place back there, didn't he? He go back on the straight. Yeah, and then you had the safety car, and I thought from the safety car, when that goes off, that's going to be the decider for who wins the race, because obviously if Leclerc's never been in that position where he's been leading race and there's been a safety car for a restart, so I thought if he doesn't get it right, that's probably going to cost him his race. So thankfully he did. He did a pretty good job of that. So
lap 12, a man that not many people like, Kevin Magnussen. He was getting mugged off, I thought, throughout the race. Gasly was the leading Red Bull car at this point. I really think they should give him a go at Red Bull. He's doing really well in the Toro Rosso, in my opinion. What do you think to Magnussen? I mean, he was like 7th, and he dropped down to like 12th, 13th or something. Slow on the straights. Haas really struggled.
Yeah, that was because they looked good. Because I remember seeing in qualifying, because I thought he was going to go out in Q1 on Saturday, but he ended up making it to Q3, and I was like, wow, they might actually be pretty good on this track. And seeing on the Sunday where he was at one point, being up in 7th, I was like, wow, that's really good. And then I just suddenly saw all the timings behind him, and everyone is within a second of each other. I'm like, oh, they're just going to fall. He's just going to fall down there.
Yeah, it was pretty poor from Haas. I'm pretty sure Grosjean's still running. Yeah, Grosjean's on like the Melbourne spec car, I think, and Magnussen has the updated one. Really odd situation it has.
Yeah.
Lap 20, Gasly and Magnussen touch. Oh yeah, do you remember this? Magnussen went around the outside on the corner, the right-hander after the Kemmel Straight. I don't think he should have been there, Magnussen. You can't overtake there on the outside anyway. And they touched, and then Magnussen went wide. I don't think he should have been there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a really weird bit to try overtake on. Like no one ever tries an overtake on that on the little chicane bit there, because it's you either get it done before or you kind of leave it for a bit later on down the track. It's a very tricky part of the track around that bit. Yeah, like it's all going downhill from there, and it's all like it can either downhill on the track and can literally, if you all get it wrong, go downhill.
You'll basically go downhill very quickly. Yeah. So
yeah, he kind of got lucky to get away with just going through there and just going wide. But yeah, no, it was a very typical Magnussen move, I think, trying to get it done when he could have just waited.
Dirty Kevin Magnussen. Got married the other week apparently. Well done, Kevin.
Oh, really?
Right. Vettel pitted really early. I can't remember which lap it was, but he pitted very early. I think it was between lap sort of 14, 15-ish. And Leclerc stayed out for 6-7 laps later. He pitted in lap 21, and he came out behind Vettel. And I put Ferrari strategy, because at that point it looked like Leclerc was leading by like 5 seconds. They just screwed him over again. Actually, a masterstroke by Ferrari, strategically, because Vettel was using up. Or Martin Brundle always says eating your sweeties too quickly. Always says that. And he did. I think he ate all of his Haribo way too quickly and used up all his tyres. And Hamilton pitted on lap 23, but it was a bit of a slow stop for Lewis. Not what Mercedes would have wanted, because they were trying to catch up to the Ferraris. They looked quite racy, actually, in the Mercs.
I remember seeing that pit stop and just being like, that was not a good one. I don't know what's going on with the Mercedes pit crew this year, but they've rear left again. I think it was. He keeps having that same problem, and Bottas a couple of times this year as well. It's definitely something they got to look at, because that ruined his race, considering how it ended in the end.
That could have been a difference.
Extra couple of seconds. Yeah, that could have been a real big difference for him.
Lap 25, Leclerc was sort of closing up to Vettel so much. And on lap 26, I think, or lap 27, Vettel had a team radio message which no one would have thought would have happened, and he was asked to let Leclerc by. At the start of the season, that would have been unthinkable, and here we are, Spa, second half of the season. Is Leclerc now the number one driver?
Oh no, this was just them actually for the first time realising, like, we can't do that. Like, this is them going, we can't. Like, they've already, like, from when they pit Vettel so early and then Leclerc comes out, a couple of seconds behind him, everyone's gone, that's them doing it again. That's them preferring Vettel again over him.
Yeah.
But, the fact that they've gone and put it around, I mean, they couldn't have just said, Leclerc stay behind, because that would have ruined their race. That would have invited the Mercedes to come along and take them.
Correct use of team orders from Ferrari for once.
Yeah.
Lap 27, that happened. Vettel let him pass on pit straight, trying to lose as little time as possible. So that actually executed it quite well, because we know what happens then, because Hamilton rapidly starts closing up behind Vettel. And Ferrari looks so good in a straight line. Like, even when Mercedes were OP, I don't think they were this fast, because even with DRS, Vettel was pulling away. Hamilton had DRS, and Vettel without DRS the gap wasn't even closing that much. Ridiculous, I thought, from Ferrari.
Oh yeah, it was like, because I remember obviously this year it's been Mercedes. They've always been, Mercedes were quicker in the straight lines and Ferrari were quicker through the corners. But this year they kind of turned, they switched it over, and you saw it for the first time this season how quick the Ferrari was. And I think honestly they're quicker this year on straights than Mercedes ever were.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
they were so quick.
Because the first few laps without DRS, after the safety car had gone in and whatever, Ferrari, Vettel was pulling away so much on the Kenworth straight, it was ridiculous. But then Hamilton got it straight back in the middle sector. That was basically the story of the race. Because Ferrari pull away and then Mercedes close up, and pretty close.
Yeah, because you saw in qualifying, it was where Hamilton was making up the time on the Ferraris, even though Leclerc took it by over half a second, half a second in the end. It was like Lewis made about half a second in just the middle sector alone, and it just showed how quick the Mercedes are through the corners, but how much quicker the Ferraris were in everywhere else on the track.
Where are we? Lap 28. Yeah, as soon as he gets Hamilton right behind him, Vettel's like, tyres won't make it to the end. And Hamilton does get past him, I think, within a couple of laps. And he starts closing down Leclerc. But Vettel, that was crucial, because the laps that Hamilton was right behind Vettel, he was holding him up. I think he lost 2 or 3 seconds in the end.
Yeah.
And that was probably what made the difference. I think the difference when Hamilton crossed the line was under a second from Leclerc winning.
It was real close.
So it was close. But I put lap 29, Norris was in no man's land. Had a bit of a quiet race. Should we talk about his race and what happened at the end? Because that was heartbreaking for him.
Yeah, that was
a tough one.
I mean, you always want him to do well nowadays. Like, I said it in the summer break. I didn't like him at first when he was coming in, and now I love him. So to see him in such a good position, especially with Verstappen having gone out, he could get some really good points. getting in a 5th place, which is what he was running, and then just to have his race end 1 lap shy. I mean, that was just.
Should I send you the team radio? There was uncensored team radio, which I think I sent it to you.
That young man, yeah, you sent it to me.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
Real
Kids don't watch it because the language is a bit. But I mean, understandably, I think everyone would be the same in that situation. In a McLaren, which wasn't even expected to finish in the points, let alone finish in 5th. He literally pulled up over the start finish and it died. Oh, so annoying! 1 lap from the end as well. If he had been lapped, that would have been fine. But he wasn't.
Well, he was. It had the same problem though that Sainz had, wasn't it? Or was very similar. Because I saw on his steering wheel it said anti-stall on it. So it was just.
Which is proper.
It was
proper
very weird.
Because he was on a straight, flat out. So interesting for McLaren.
Yeah, it's just a proper electronics problem there.
Probably. Lap 41, Leclerc was being held up by back markers, and Hamilton. The split to Hamilton was 3.9 seconds. There was 44 laps. There was 3 laps left. He was 4 seconds behind, and the gap kept coming down for the last 4 or 5 laps. It was 3.9, 3, 2.5, 2, and lap 43, the penultimate lap, it was 2.2, and then it was 1.4 on the final lap. Hamilton was making inroads in the middle sector, and then Giovinazzi crashes on the final lap, which brings out the yellow flags, which kind of spoil the end to the race. I don't think he would have overtaken him anyway. Maybe another lap might have made a difference.
He said it afterwards. He said on the lap or 2 he would have got him. But I mean, no one would have wanted him to have won that.
No.
At that point, for what Charles has gone through for the weekend, and pretty much on the last lap to win his first race. If he had got overtaken by a guy who's got 5 world championships, 80+ race wins. He just, I don't think Lewis would have done it. No. I don't. If he had got so close, I don't think he would have. I mean, he's far enough away in the championship. He wouldn't have. It's not like he needed the win.
No, I watched a video with. I think it was on Mercedes IGTV. They put a video up. Toto was like, "Yeah, the race result was kind of irrelevant because of what happened," and he reckons it was the right winner with Leclerc and the Hubert connection there. But you see Giovinazzi's. Just go back to Giovinazzi's crash. That curb, speaking from experience on F1 2019, that curb that he spun on is so aggressive. You touch it, you're gone. You don't even have to properly touch it. You put one wheel on it, your history.
I mean, it would look like a bad crash as well.
Pretty heavy.
They were asked, because they didn't hear anything from him at first. They were obviously the cameras were focusing on Leclerc and Hamilton, but you didn't hear any team radios for quite a while, and it was honestly is he alright? And then finally it comes over, and he was fine. But you just saw cause they didn't show the replay either till after the race, and you see the car anyway embedded in the barriers there, and it's like whoa, he went head on.
This weekend has been a reminder. I think we get used to seeing people we saw Alonso in Melbourne 2016, I think it was. With that crash with Gutierrez, he just walks out and waves to the crowd. We get so used to seeing that when someone is actually hurt, or even worse in a race, it kind of shook me up. If I'm honest, that I was like, Jesus Christ, is this still happening? Terrible.
It shook me up when I heard that he passed away from it, because we've had bad crashes since. I mean, think of what's his name, Billy Monger, a couple of years ago.
That was a terrible
when he
crash.
had a terrible crash, and thankfully he's still here today. He lost both his legs, but at least he's still driving, and he still has potential because they're building the F1 cars for him. So he still has a potential to go. So you feel like you look at it now and you think they must be invincible in those cars, but they're not. It can still deaths can still happen.
I think Andrew Benson, the BBC Sport F1 writer, he put an article up. I'll have to send you. I'll put it in the link in the bio. Really, really good. After Saturday, I think he wrote it, and he was like, yes, it is dangerous, but if you take out the risk, the complete risk, is it that entertaining? Yeah, it's racing, but that element of danger, is what Niki Lauda used to say as well. If there was no danger in it, nobody would watch it, because you think anyone could do it, but we watch it because they're doing things that we can't do for one reason or another. So, and they're willing to take that risk. So, Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, every driver says they know what they're signing up for. They know they're signing up for any race, any corner could be their last, and they know it.
I think
but it's
Magnussen,
that thrill that pushes them.
The Netflix documentary, Magnussen said he was like, "Yeah, I'm not really worried about dying." I just is that just Kevin Magnussen, or is that a racing driver thing?
I reckon that's like a sort of Magnussen, Kimi Räikkönen, like they're like that's their mentality. Most drivers will be very aware of it, but they do it anyway. Just because they're doing what they love for a start, and it's it's also like if you can still do it as well as they do, and whilst being afraid, that really shows you how good they are, and again shows you how not everyone can do it.
Yeah,
because these guys are still putting it to the limit. I mean, especially when they're driving at Monaco or Baku now, being so quick, such quick street circuits, and they're still putting the car right on the edge. It's like they have no fear, but obviously they are still thinking to it that could be their last.
The final top 10 was Leclerc, Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel in 4th. Albon actually got bumped up to 5th. We haven't mentioned him yet. What a race from 16th, 17th on the grid. You should really give him a go on the Red Bull. He's doing really well. Perez in 6th, Kvyat in 7th. I think he started right at the back. Kvyat.
He did.
Hulkenberg in 8th, Gasly in 9th, some good points for Toro Rosso there. And Lawrence Stroll, the man, the myth, the legend, picks up a point in the Belgian Grand Prix.
Oh, didn't actually know that.
Driver of the day was actually Norris. I think that vote that was finished before the last lap, hence why. But still, I think that was a valid argument.
I think so. I mean, I said Leclerc. I think I'd still stick with Leclerc, but definitely Norris had a fantastic race. I didn't realise Albon. I realised like he came 5th, obviously in the end, but didn't realise Kvyat finished so well.
Yeah,
like I would have said he
really good race.
Yeah, he could have been the driver there as well. That was a good drive from him then.
Yeah. This weekend, I don't know how to summarise. I want to summarise. We're coming up to 25 minutes, but I don't know. I didn't feel. I guess the drivers were saying, like, I listened to Gasly's interview with Will Buxton on F1 Paddock Pass. Great series, by the way. I told Will Buxton that when I met him at some point this year. He was saying, Gasly was saying about how like they grew up together. Him, Hubert, Ocon, and Leclerc were all in the same go-karting, the same cars. And Hubert was just about. I think he's won 2 races in F2, and he was about to get a really good car next year or seat next year. It kind of it shook me up. I'm sure it shook up everybody who was watching, because it was broadcast live on TV as well. The actual crash, and there was a trackside angle of it, which I wish I hadn't really have seen, because that was quite disturbing. But yeah, it was a tough weekend. But Monza next. So what are your thoughts going into Monza?
Monza, I think to be honest, I still feel like it's going to be quite a somber mood, obviously, still, because it's only just a week on. But as in terms of the actual race, should be another Ferrari. I think should be another Ferrari dominance. I reckon this time.
Another Leclerc victory, do you reckon?
I hope so. I hope it will be another one. Yeah, back to back. That'll be pretty good. Or a
Bottas win.
Even Vettel will be pretty good.
Bottas needs to start winning. He needs to start outscoring. He needed to this weekend, but he didn't. So is the title over now? I think it's Vettel's 99 points clear of Hamilton's 99 points clear of Vettel. 100 points pretty much. He's out of the title.
He's clear from the Ferraris, from Vettel.
Verstappen's probably out right now.
Verstappen. Like I said in the last podcast, I don't see him winning any other races other than Mexico, so I don't think he has any chance. Bottas is the only real competitor to him, but he's not outscoring him, so it's pretty much over.
Yeah. Pretty much over. That is the verdict going into Monza, but still looking forward to it. Should be a good race.
Yeah, still going to watch every race. Still going to watch this race. Going to watch every race. Going to love it.
Going to enjoy it. Hopefully, it should go down to the wire, but it might not. It probably won't. So,
no.
Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed, subscribe, like, and comment down below if you think we've just talked absolute nonsense. We'll be back next weekend for Italian Grand Prix podcast. So make sure you tune in for that. Share the video, do whatever you want. And we will see you next time.